Hi, this is Doug Hudeberg, founder of ProductSage, and I just wanted to provide you with a quick overview of ProductSage and the product lifecycle phases that we operate around, and specifically the 37 pre-growth requirements that are really the foundation of ProductSage. But first, let's look at what's really the focus of ProductSage. Why have we created this? And it's really about leveraging product management best practices to eliminate the risk of avoidable failure, minimize time to launch and growth, and then maximize the revenue and value of your product. What we do is we help you install a methodology, infrastructure, and resources for managing a successful product through every stage of its life cycle. At ProductSage, we look at the product life cycle as having these 6 phases. But specifically, we're focused on the pre-growth phases, which is phases 0 through 3. So what does that mean? If you look at the product life cycle like this, it's really not a life cycle. People call it that, but we tend to refer to it more as a journey because it's pretty linear. The way we manage it, not really going through cycles, but going through a linear journey to reach growth. And it starts with discovery, goes through planning, goes through development. And then in phase 3, launch, that's when you start generating some revenue. But the main goal of every product is to get to that growth phase where we can get into that high growth, the parabolic or exponential growth curve, where we're headed toward and ultimately attaining the full potential of the product. And that's what I'm showing here, represented by the gold star. So that's that idea of reaching that full potential as you see it for your product and driving growth to get there. Unfortunately, many great products never reach their full potential, and that's because of poor execution of product management best practices. If you do the right things, it will result in a high growth product. And one of the key things that we feel is really uh, underrepresented and not as much understood is this idea of time to growth. The main goal of a product management process is to shorten the time it takes to get from concept to growth. So that's really how we always like to measure the performance of a product management system as well as the team that's driving the product. So what are the things that affect time to growth? And that's what we call our 37 pre-growth requirements. This is a list of basically to-dos that enable the product to be a high growth product. And as you can see, all the 37 pre-growth requirements are divided into each of the pre-growth phases. Whether there's 9 or 10 in that phase, adds up to 37. And these are the things that drive growth. So success in phase 4 really depends a lot less on what you're doing in phase 4, because you're just scaling what you've already figured out by the time you get to phase 4. But success in phase 4 really depends on the execution of the marketing pre-growth requirements of the previous phases. And that's what ProductSage is all about, helping you work through as efficiently, quickly, and with the least amount of time investment on each requirement so that you can move your product to that growth phase and be implementing, adding the infrastructure and the resources you need to get there. Now that we've had a quick overview, I want you to scroll down and you'll see that I've listed all the 37 pre-growth requirements. You can read about them below. And once you've gotten a feel for what we're talking about with the 37 requirements, log into your ProductSage account and let's start tackling them. My suggestion is to start at the very beginning with your phase plan, with your product infrastructure setup, and your stakeholder profiles. And when you get to the stakeholder profiles, I've got good news for you, because we have available for you, for as part of your free account, you can try out our interactive coaching and assistant. And what that is just an AI process that will interview you verbally and you respond verbally. All you have to do is have a conversation with our interactive coach, and that will provide the input for the our system and the AI to create your stakeholder profiles for you. You just have to provide the information that you already know, and in response to the prompts and the questions that are provided, have a conversation, and then the system will create your stakeholder profiles for you. So that's the best way to get to know ProductSage, to understand how it's going to work for you. But once you've gotten through, the first three requirements, then you can kind of prioritize. You might be needing to spend more time on promotion or social foundation than having to complete some of your market opportunity analysis or whatever. It's not always in sequence, but it'll give you a place to manage, document, and manage tasks associated with these projects to get your product into that high growth phase. So best of luck, and I look forward to working with you to take your product into its high growth phase so that you too can have a high growth product.